Well, hey there, beautiful collective. Welcome into Unmasked Universe and welcome into your reading today. I did start this reading yesterday. I thought I was recording, however, I pressed the start virtual camera instead. And so that is why you're going to see all of these cards here already. I did not have the chance last night to re-record this video, so we're going to use what cards did come out, and I will reiterate the message once more to you. And then we'll continue on from there. Now, I've already pre-shuffled all the other cards. I've cleansed the space. We are ready to go. I have my spirit team with me, assisting me during this reading. And I do want to just state how grateful I am that you're here today to receive this message, as well as if you do not resonate with any part of this or it doesn't sink in any way, shape, or form, then this may not be your message. So only take what resonates for you, leave the rest. There may be bits and pieces in here. This could be happening right now. This could be happening in the future sometime soon. So keep that in mind. My readings are generally um, going to resonate in some way, shape, or form if it is meant for you. So take that and, yeah, as I said, just use your discernment when you're watching any kind of readings, right? So the first two cards that I had pulled to get the general energy was the Tree of Life and Boundaries. So immediately with the Tree of Life, this represents to me familial energy, ancestral, not just ancestral, but even in this lifetime. So this is energy that is referring to your family line. At least this is the energy that I'm picking up from this today specifically. It can mean other things as well. However, there is a cycle and some patterns and things like that that go along with the familial um, existence and line of your generations, I guess, your generational line of your family. So, what I got yesterday was that with this coming up with boundaries, and you can probably see here, maybe you can't see it that well, but in this card, there is somebody who is climbing a wall with a ladder and they are leaving somebody behind. So, what I get strongly from this is that you may have walked away from somebody or some people, likely in your family, and set boundaries for yourself. And now there is an energy that's been coming in or is about to come in. Again, this may be happening now. It might happen today. It might happen in the next week to 2 weeks. I didn't get anything from like when I was reading these cards initially. I didn't get any energy stating that it would be a long ways away. I think this is something coming up in the near future for everybody in the collective. But of course, we can't specify timelines because each individual is very specific in where they are and what's going on in their life. So, this should be coming up in the near future where there may be something that comes in, or somebody more specifically from your family, from your past, who's going to come around with a specific type of energy, right? And so you're being asked to ensure that you firm up your boundaries, that you take the higher ground here in whatever is going to be said or the energy that they're going to show up in, because there's an energy around this that's going to try and play on past wounds. And that's why family comes up, is because this is going to the energy that this person is going to show up in is an attempt to essentially trigger past wounds. And so your boundaries, understanding what your boundaries are around the specific people that you've walked away from, whether that be one person or several people, whatever energy they show up in, source and spirit is asking you to ensure that you remain in your integrity, that you remain grounded, and that you remain balanced in your energy, because the whole point of whatever this situation is an opportunity to demonstrate your growth. And having these boundaries is essentially not only about what you what you believe your boundaries to be, but what those boundaries look like for you. What is self-loving to you? So, allowing somebody back into your life, no matter what it is that they're going to present with or say to you, allowing somebody back into your life who has clearly demonstrated that they aren't capable of respecting your boundaries, or even in this moment, possibly they're going to show up with an energy that is going to play on possibly guilt or shame or projections of their own wounds onto you, or making you feel bad about something. This is not your responsibility, and it is self-loving to stay neutral, like Switzerland, right? In this moment. So, and that's not to say that you need to allow yourself to be attacked verbally by this person or these people. What what Source is really trying to communicate here is that this is more of an energy where you are justified in whatever decisions you made to leave this particular person or these people. And because of that, this too is a boundary that you are justified in your response to whatever happened in the past. You are justified in putting boundaries up, and you are also justified in your ability to stay, I guess, unaffected by the energy. So what that means is that they're going to come in to try and sway your energy or to dysregulate you in some way, shape, or form. And I say they because I it's going to be different for everybody. There may be one person, or you may have a bunch of people trying to get into your energy at this point. Um, and so the whole point of this is to dysregulate you in some way, shape, or form. And setting boundaries also means to evaluate what that looks like for you. What is self-loving for you? Um, the energy is really coming in to not just dysregulate you, but to take your focus off of whatever it is that you're doing so that you shift into old patterns and old ways of being or thinking, and possibly being dysregulated and ungrounded, or even arguing. That is another thing, is that um, this whole thing about the argumentative energy has been coming up a lot lately in the collective. If you haven't seen my last readings, you might want to watch the last two. It talks a lot about making the choice whether or not you want peace in your life, or if you want to continue to engage in battles and arguments and petty things, or even things that aren't petty but are taking your energy and your time and possibly your finances, and your emotions are all going and being invested in those types of push-pull dynamics, right? And so, what is self-loving to you? You may want to analyze that and see what it is that you truly value. And what you truly value, most likely for most of you, is your peace, because that is why you walked away from these people to begin with, is that you truly value your peace and you are looking for actual love, not whatever has been told to you that that is love, but is actually a broken or skewed version of love, right? And so, one of the things that you need to keep in mind going forward is that the people or things, people or person who are coming in are going to try, like I said, to play on those past wounds. However, um, if you've done a lot of the healing, which I'm gathering that you've already done a lot of this healing, your job now is to just reinforce that boundary. Not allow somebody to verbally accost you, no. However, to not engage in anything that may disrupt your peace further, which means engaging in that argumentative stance. Remaining balanced and firmly grounded means that you know who you are at this point. You understand um, what it means, what peace actually means in your life, what love actually is supposed to be. You understand that you value yourself enough not to engage in these activities, not to lower yourself to their level in order to appease them in any way, but instead to stand firmly in your position and without engaging in that argumentative energy, right? Without without lowering your standards either, or your beliefs, because again, you're justified in your beliefs. You were the one who experienced whatever it was that you experienced from your state of reference and from your own experiences. You are justified in saying or being or doing whatever it is going forward in your life as you wish, which is why you've stepped away from this energy of possibly toxic patterns, toxic family patterns, generational abuse, generational patterns, possibly addictions, all kinds of things within your family. You've stepped away from that so that you can find balance, so that you can find peace. And so, not engaging in that, but not tolerating any abuse at the same time is one of those fine lines that you're likely going to be presented with at this time. And you're going to be given this opportunity to demonstrate what love actually means. And that love is teaching that other person a lesson. And so, remaining humble, remaining like disengaging from any part of your ego that may still be possibly hurt. If there are aspects of your ego that are still struggling with trigger points, you may want to practice what it is that you would say or do given a situation with certain people that you've walked away from, or how you would behave, how you would demonstrate what love truly means, and how that would appear to others. I mean, that may be aggravating or triggering for them that you're remaining calm and you're taking the higher ground, which is what you're being asked to do here, is to take the higher ground and demonstrate what love truly means. And love, that's one of those things that in broken family systems, that the people who came before you didn't necessarily have the the tools, the know-how, the wisdom, or even understand what love felt like. And so for them, that might feel like love. And they're not wrong in their own beliefs and in their own viewpoints of what love means to them because they haven't grown to the level that you have. And you have evolved in that sense that you know now what love truly means. And um, love is setting boundaries, right? Because ultimately, you're here to protect yourself. You are here to love yourself. And boundaries are a natural part of that. Standing up for yourself is a natural part of that. But how do we stand up for ourselves without anger, without bitterness, resentment, without hurt, without guilt, without shame? Because often these people who are still stuck in these cycles are going to come in with that energy, right? So, how is it that you can demonstrate that love without harming another person? Because if you sink down to that level and you begin to argue or you defend yourself, which you're being asked not to defend yourself, answer the questions or say what you need to, but give thought to that before you before you actually speak. Instead of reacting, um, think about what it is that you actually wish to communicate and short and simple, because a lot of these systems work in ways that expect or have expected you in the past to explain yourself, and you're justified in your reasons. As I said, You're justified in all of the ways that you think, believe, your reasons for whatever happened here, and you don't need to explain yourself. And that too is self-loving. That too is a boundary, is that you do not need to defend yourself. You do not need to explain, especially over-explain. And so, having that self-love also means knowing when not to speak, when not to waste your energy, when not to, you know, put too much effort into justifying your own reasons for living the way that you live. You're allowed to. That's what sovereignty actually means. You are a sovereign being, and with that that came because you walked away from these things, and you're creating that sovereignty through loving yourself and through creating these boundaries, right? So the next card that I pulled, let's put that out of the way. I was asking how or what it is that you're going to need to do in this situation in order to set these boundaries or with whatever is approaching you. And so we got this card sound, and the first thing that I resonated with yesterday on this message was that it's likely going to be that you're going to have to communicate something and communicate these boundaries clearly, concisely, right? This is going to involve some sort of communication, whether that is through text, an email, or directly face to face. You're going to have to communicate your boundaries. And part of that is, again, showing up with integrity, showing up with a firm stance on knowing who you are and believing in yourself. And that again comes down to not justifying your reasons. You don't have to justify anything to anyone. This is your life to live. And so part of this communication is about establishing firmer boundaries through your word and through your energy. Your energy, the way that you are composed, right? And this is energetically and emotionally and physically standing tall, feeling confident within yourself and what you value and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. These are all aspects that you may need to communicate. And energetically and physically, human beings pick up your energy before you're even visible to them, right? So we're picking up other people's frequencies, energy, before we're even getting in close proximity to one another. And so, because of that, the way that you carry yourself all around speaks for itself. And so, saying less in these situations or with this situation is going to be more impactful than saying more. And so I want you to give some thought to that as you're thinking about all of this and how you might want to show up and really communicate only what needs to be communicated in order to assert the boundary because not everybody is attuned to the fact that they're picking up your frequency, your energy already. But if you're already showing up in that, saying less is more in this situation. And now I got the feeling because yesterday when I pulled this card, even though it goes through several different colors, the things that stood out the most for me was the red, the orange, and the yellow. And these are your three lower chakras. And so likely this person is coming in because these are where a lot of your childhood wounds are stored. Likely this person is going to come in and try to trigger these lower three chakras where familial wounds were created, or insecurities, or doubt. And so anything that you experienced as a child within this family system, um, whatever insecurities you had been working on or healing, these are the things that they are going to, and I say they just in general, but these are the things that they are going to come in and try to trigger. So be aware of that. Just keep that in the back of your mind, like, oh, okay, well, you know, I understand that this and this and this and this is what I've had to work on in order to heal myself and get myself to this level. So this is likely what they're going to try and trigger, or which strings they're going to try and pull to play on your heart, right? Um, yeah, so that is mainly what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to verbalize something, but again, no over communicating, no over expression, no need to defend your choices because they're yours to make. You are a sovereign being. Now, I did ask, how are they going to show up? In what energy are they going to show up? And what I got was this self-love card. And as you can see inside of this woman here is a inner child, right? So immediately what I got from this is that they're going to show up in an energy where they're holding up a pretty strong mask or a persona of being healed, that they have done work on themselves to heal themselves, to rectify whatever insecurities they had, that they are now self-loving, that they give to themselves, and they're going to show up and possibly with their words are going to seem convincing. They may even, whoever this is, might even show up in an energy or with the words, the vocabulary that matches the vocabulary that we are speaking here, about, inner child and self-loving and what are boundaries. They may be able to talk the talk, but because you have come so far, Spirit wants to tell you that you are fully capable of discerning whether or not what they are saying matches the way that they present themselves physically in their body language, the way that their energy comes off. Um, you're going to be able to discern whether or not this is true or if it's a facade. And you'll know that based on how they are coming through and what projections they are throwing at you. And for some of you, this could be playing on your heartstrings and guilt and shame. That came up a lot yesterday. So trying to make you feel guilty about your decisions. They may come in and try to reverse the roles and try to make you believe that that didn't happen, gaslight you or try to um, shame you about your decisions and try to convince you that um, you made all of this up in your own head, but you know deep down inside exactly what it was like growing up in that environment or with these people and how you were treated. And so, Spirit really wants you to know that you are now at a level where you have the discernment to be able to tell whether or not this is a facade based on what they say, based on the emotions that they are either trying to dump onto you or if they're taking responsibility for all their actions, because they may, like, if this is a facade, remember, they may try to convince you that they're able to take responsibility for their actions, that they're doing that now and they're doing the healing. But how does that feel to you? Are they triggering certain emotions within you? Are they attempting to dysregulate you in any way, shape, or form? And so, what really came through strongly yesterday was that this, because I was asking Spirit a little more about this, and I don't remember the exact questions I was asking, but this is a manipulation, is what I was getting. So, the reason that they're coming in is to manipulate. And there may be, for some of you, there may be um, somebody that you were hoping would come back into your life from your family who has done the healing, who isn't trying to manipulate, but may not necessarily be healthy enough to keep in your inner sphere. It's another thing that did come up. But the intention behind this is a manipulation, which is why they're wearing a mask and showing up as, their healed self, is because they want to manipulate you for some reason, right? And this is something that you're going to have to use your discernment for, be in touch with your feelings with. And another thing that came through is that you will need to likely think on your feet in that moment. So being present in the moment and not allowing yourself to get swayed by this person's opinions, beliefs, their viewpoints, staying firm in your own viewpoints, in your own beliefs, in your own experience of what it was like to be in that environment with this person or whatever it is that they've done towards you or possibly how they've not shown up for you. These are all things to keep in mind, right? So if this is a manipulation, then my next question was, what is it that they're trying to go after here? What is it that like why are they trying to manipulate you? And the first card that I got was Ignite Ambition, and the second card was Roots of Success. And so this card essentially talks about, um, in the positive, I mean, it talks about pursuing desires with drive and facing consequences bravely, right? So they're likely going to show up stating that, they are, like I said, taking responsibility for their actions and dealing with the consequences that have come forward because of their actions. Um, but the whole thing about it is that these this person or these people, like this person in particular, there may just be one person being sent in by, say, a whole family system. And so their desire and their drive is heightened to serve some other underlying reason. Again, this is coming in as a manipulation, manipulating your emotions, right? Trying to trigger past wounds or guilt or shame came through on a massive scale yesterday. So this person is essentially like the poster boy or girl of the family dynamic who's coming in quite potentially for most of you to manipulate something and to distract you. And so there are secret desires that are driving this, and this has to do with the secret desires of the family. And so the whole point of this is to completely destabilize your foundation. And so what I was getting is that for a lot of you, there you're at a point where you're about to level up significantly, which is why this is happening. Because as soon as you have come to the point where you've really done the healing work, where you have really leveled yourself up and closed out this chapter, people can feel that on an energetic and unconscious level. And so this is when you're going to, when you level up, this is when you have new devils showing up, right? Or old ones, but coming in new ways. And so for a lot of you, the thing is that you're about to step all the way through the threshold and level up in ways that are um, unimaginable at this point, but you're ready. And because you're ready, they can feel that. And because they're doing something behind the scenes, this family, for a lot of you, like it could be a whole family system, it could just be one person, it could be two people. But really, what I got strongly yesterday was that there's something happening behind the scenes, which is why this person is coming in all of a sudden to distract you or to dysregulate you or to uplift your foundation, right? With this Roots of Success card, it's all about destabilizing your foundation. And this could be um, emotionally, mentally. But what's going on here in the family or between certain family members is that they are essentially working on some way of um, taking your divine inheritance because now that you're at this level, you're ready to receive your divine inheritance, which is why it's extremely important to stay regulated, to stay balanced. Um, because if they are able to throw you off emotionally or mentally and have you continuously thinking about it, being in your head rather than being centered in your body and in your heart in the present moment, if they're able to sway you into their lower dimensional frequencies and energies, then um, whatever it is that they are trying to take from you, they believe that they're going to be successful in doing that because now you're taking yourself out of faith in what the divine has, set out for you in your manifestation skills. You might start going back into childhood wounds, doubting yourself, doubting this path, doubting the divine, doubting source, God, whomever you call your creator. This is the point, is so that you don't receive your divine inheritance. Because for some of you, for a lot of you, there are people working in the background who have already taken from you. And the divine's not going to allow that. So this might be an inheritance. This might be a property. It could be something that a past loved one left to you when you were a child. This could be money. This could be a settlement. There is some divine inheritance financially that this family system, one, two, or all, are trying to um, keep for themselves illegally or find loopholes, I'm hearing, or essentially trying to hoard this out of greed for themselves. And it was rightfully yours to begin with. This was your divine inheritance. So if they can come in and distract you from being present, from being high vibrational, from your attention going towards your manifestations and towards your highest path, um, and staying balanced, if they can successfully do that, then they believe that they're going to be able to keep that. However, um, my spirit team came through yesterday and just wanted me to reiterate that even if, and this isn't to say that like you should go down to that level and allow yourself to get lost in your thoughts or rumination or negativity or start doubting yourself. No, you're supposed to be taking this opportunity to elevate yourself because you are being rewarded with something grander, right? And we'll get into that in these cards. But essentially, what's rightfully yours can never be stolen. So even if in this 3D realm they're able to steal your inheritance, steal some sort of large windfall of any kind, um, even if they were capable of doing that and successful in doing that, there is the divine source. They're going to make up for that in some other way for you. So you're being asked not to be scared of losing anything. You're being asked to fully live in the present moment and with faith, 100% unshakable, unwavering faith that even if you have to give something up, even if you have to let it go, even if they do take this successfully, that source will ensure other avenues and other doorways are opening up to give you everything and more that they took back. And so, if there is a fear of letting go of whatever this is, known or unknown, for some of you, you weren't aware of this. For some of you, you are aware of what's going on. And there should not be any fear about letting it go and just being happy with what you have, right? Being content with, what you do have, whether it's a little bit or a lot at this point. Being happy and grateful for what it is that you currently have is the energy that you're being asked to step into, and not allowing anybody to dissuade you from your path, from your truth, from your highest um, alignment, essentially. And these are people who yesterday I was picking up a lot of greed, right? There's a lot of greed here. And this is this is an energy of thinking that, their actions do not come with consequences. And for those of you who are on this path, you already understand that every action comes with a consequence, whether it's negative or positive. And so taking that higher path, or taking the higher ground and walking the middle path, which is balance, not getting too excited about something and not getting too swept away with emotions either, but remaining fairly neutral along our life allows us to stay balanced, right? And by doing so, by making decisions that are self-loving at all times and setting those boundaries of what we're willing to engage in and what we're not willing to engage in anymore, that allows us to walk in a higher version of ourselves, to assimilate with that higher version of ourselves, right? The whole point of this is to ascend, to learn these lessons, and to move forward with our own self love, not a representation of what that is. And so you're really being asked to ensure that you are doing whatever it takes to daily, on a daily, maybe even twice a day practice to ensure that you are stabilizing yourself. You might want to recalibrate your own chakra systems, to work with your chakras to rebalance them every day, to do spiritual hygiene. Make sure you're practicing that every single day at this point, to ensure that your emotions are balanced, that your nervous system is regulated, that you're getting enough sleep, getting enough water, getting proper nutrition that is helping you to remain grounded and balanced, and ensure that you're taking time to rest, getting grounded, spending time in nature, doing all the things that you need to for whatever this is that's coming up so that you can you can demonstrate what it's like to have roots in the ground. You can demonstrate what it means to be grounded, what it means to be in your power and self-loving, because that is self-loving, is no matter what's going on here, what they're trying to take from you in this greed, um, just understand that this is a decoy so that your attention goes away from whatever it is that they're doing here. All right, so the next thing that I was asking Spirit was, what is it that they are trying to take from you? And so I pulled these three cards. And the first one is long term. An opportunity could turn into a long-term career move, or you will be asked to commit to a position in exchange for more money. And then we got these golden dice, which say roll the dice. Time to put yourself out there. You are hiding your talents, and it's time to take a risk now and step into the spotlight, or time to take a risk and step into the spotlight now, which means being your authentic self, right? And then this really powerful card on top of all of that came out, which said power and position. So you are being promoted or called to lead. Time to step into your sovereignty and guide others with compassion. They are essentially trying to prevent you from leveling up here. So you're in a position where they can sense it, whether it's conscious or unconscious, that you're about to level up, that you have been given a position by the divine, and you're ready to step into that promotion. You are being called to lead, right? And so you're being asked to stand in your authority, to stand in your authentic self. And what they're trying to do is prevent you from this opportunity, because the universe is presenting you with an opportunity to step into your soul's mission, your soul's path, right? This is why this power of position card has come up. is because conscious or unconscious, when you're about to level up, you're going to have people show up in your life from your past or even new people who are going to try and prevent you from stepping into that position, to stepping into your authority. And because of what is going on with what they are trying to take from you, they're trying to create upheaval in your stability. And this could be financially, because this could potentially mean that whatever it is they're trying to take from you in the 3D realm financially is meant to completely destabilize you, right? To destabilize your foundation. And so what they're trying to take is your opportunity away to step into the highest version of yourself, into your full alignment, and into your power, because you are at a point now where um, you're being given all of the things that you've ever dreamed, right? You're being given your divine inheritance, and some of these people are completely aware of it. Some of them may unconsciously be aware of it, but they are working behind the scenes to take things from you and sending in somebody to prevent you from being able to take this responsibility on that the divine has given you. So they really want to take away your position. And so what I was getting yesterday from this was that because this is a very powerful position, um, it is a threat to whatever they're doing in the background. So if they're trying to steal something financially from you, or hoard it or hide it, um, then they're going to send in somebody to destabilize you emotionally so that you cannot receive this, because this threatens actually their ability to keep it, whatever that is that they've been trying to keep, your divine inheritance, your your ability to step into your power and into the position that Source has given you. You see the crown here, to wear your crown that Source has bestowed upon you, threatens their ability to keep all of this. And when you step into this position, when you step into the role that's been assigned to you and remain grounded and neutral, while also respecting yourself, loving yourself, setting up these boundaries, right? This is what allows your divine inheritance to leave or to be discovered by something in the 3D realm, which will neutralize their ability to hold on to it, essentially, is what I heard yesterday. So you, it's really important that you consider how you show up in this situation, because your position is on the line in a sense, and your position and your authority, your spiritual authority, outranks everything that they are doing behind the scenes to try and create distractions or destabilize you or to take from you in any way, shape, or form. You're now at the point in your own journey that you've done all of the healing, and you've redirected yourself, and you've retrained your focus onto what you want to materialize or manifest in this life. And your divine inheritance is your birthright. So, whatever it is, however that looks, that is your birthright, and you are being given that at this time. And they know that, which is why they're trying to create all this instability in your life at the moment. So, just be sure that, regardless of what's going on here, that you're going to receive your divine inheritance in one way or another. But if you remain in this position here, that it will come to you. They cannot hold on to your divine inheritance, your birthright, right? And there, I did get yesterday that there is somebody working behind the scenes, or there may be somebody like your spirit team, your ancestors, your holy ancestors are working behind the scenes to illuminate the situation or the There may be situations that are illegal, that have been done illegally within this family to try and remove this inheritance from you or to remove you from the inheritance. Um, and that's being illuminated by whomever it is that's working on your behalf in spirit. And so they are illuminating these things to people in our 3D realm so that this comes to light and it is released to you. But your only job is to ensure that you're staying um, in that light, in that love, and respecting yourself and not over explaining or over giving to the situation or to anybody that you've chosen to walk away from, because regardless of who it is that shows up, even if it was, say, like a police officer because they were exposed, or an investigator, or maybe a lawyer, or whatever it is, you don't need to explain your whole life story to them, right? You only need to give them the information that they require in order for them to understand why it is that you left, but without getting emotionally invested or tied into the experiences of the past, right? Because you've moved past that. That's what these cards are saying. You've moved past that. You're now being crowned with your spiritual authority. And you have the spiritual authority to stand firmly in the boundaries that you've already placed without over investing or oversharing information, right? Just saying what it is that you need to, or standing in the power that you need to ensure that um, your divine inheritance is released. Okay, so that is what we've got so far. Let's see here. Spirit, which deck do you want me to use next? Okay, so we're going to go back to the clarifying life situations deck. And we do already have, the why they're doing this. They want to take your position and your power away. They want to hold you back in a lot of ways, but I do just want to get, oh, that was too many cards. Um, I was thinking in my head, why, like maybe a little bit more on the why they're doing this, because it's going to be different for each and every one of you. So I'll take these three out of the five cards. So the first one I got is ride the current, embrace change, flow with the rhythm, and release resistance. Answers unfold in the dance of transition. Okay. Then we have new heights. Let your connection with spirit ground you as you reach for the sky. Ah. And Fantasyland. Make sure everyone involved is being realistic and on the same page. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what I'm getting from these three cards is, the people who are orchestrating this behind the scenes, your family, um, they're essentially living in an illusion that they can hold on to whatever it is that, they're holding on to. But I do get this feeling as though they have already been exposed or in the middle of being exposed, or they understand they're about to be exposed. There's something that comes up with this, Fantasyland card where they are still living in this illusion that if they create these setbacks for you, or if they try to get you off course, that they're going to be able to hold on to whatever assets or windfall this is. And so there is some sort of fantasy in play here with these people. However, there's also this tie to whatever inheritance this is, your divine inheritance, that there is an aspect for you where whatever this is, it was left to you to allow you to have the freedom to move forward in the directions that you were meant to move forward with your life. So that could be financial freedom, right? That could be all your debts paid, a new home, a chance to move to a different location away from these people, a new life, like to set up your life, your career, to invest into yourself, to put into reforming the path and your existence going forward in a way that you've always dreamed of doing or that you want to do, right? That you aspire to do. And you know, this new heights card that really does speak to the power of where you're at right now. You're about to reach new heights. And so this is a threat because if all of this is released, these people don't want you to grow and evolve. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to be successful. They don't want you to be able to thrive. They want you under duress. They want you in poverty. They want you to be suffering. They want you to be unhappy, just like them. They don't want you to elevate yourself. And so the reasons also why they're going in and doing all of this is to keep you confined, to keep you bound in an old way of being. Because if you have this financial freedom, if you have your freedom, period, and you have your sovereignty, then that means that you won essentially. And you got to remember here with people who are operating in these systems, in this energy, in this way of thinking, is that they operate in a control system, right? So if you have um, if you have the ability to live the way that you want without having to worry about anything, and you know, you have your freedom and you have healed and you have done all of these things that you came here to do, then that means for them that they have lost, right? That they no longer have any power or control over your life. And ultimately, that's what they're trying to do here is to keep you in a smaller version of yourself so that you remain um, in need and controllable. And, you know, you're not here to do that. You are here to soar to new heights. You are here um, to grow and evolve and to experience a lot of wonderful things in your life. But it is important to ensure that you understand that regardless of the heights that you are meant to experience, that we still need to remain, you know, grounded, that we still need to assess every situation, assess every every person, everything that we have in our environments. We need to assess how we view the world as well, right? Being content and happy with what we already have and showing that gratitude allows us to receive more abundance, which is what's waiting for you on the other side. That's what they're trying to hold on to is this abundance. And so they don't want you to change, right? We get this ride the current, embracing change, flow with the rhythm. They don't want you to live this way because they don't know how to live this way. They haven't done the inner work to experience what it is that you're experiencing, to slow down from the rat race and to really take your time living in the present moment and experiencing life and being grateful for every single thing you have, regardless of how little or how much you have. They don't understand the fluidity of your experience and slowing down your time, slowing down your life and getting to enjoy your life is something that makes people who are still stuck in this reference of time or thinking or way of being envious and jealous, right? They don't understand the flow or the rhythm of your life, and they don't understand how you can even keep surviving, or make a living or get to experience all the things that you get to experience. But they also don't understand all of the work that you've put in to yourself in order to be able to be awarded that opportunity to step back from life in the way that you have, to not engage in the busyness and the crazy rat race, and to be able to relax and enjoy it, right? They they really don't want you to be able to have that because they don't have that. They don't want you to reach new heights because if you change, that means they have no way of limiting you any longer or having any say over your life or any control. So this is kind of like a last ditch attempt to come in and um, come in and try and mess up your life in some way, shape, or form so that they can regain control and keep whatever they're trying to steal from you and destabilize you, right? So, you know, making sure that you are acting in your highest authority and your highest integrity when you are communicating with whomever this is that does come in is going to ensure that they clearly understand your boundaries. They clearly understand and see the value of the healing journey through how you represent yourself, how you show up in that moment. They understand that they can no longer fool you with the mask, that they can no longer put on shows and pretend to be this or that, or play on your heartstrings, or trigger any past wounds because you've already done the healing work, which is why you're here, which is why you are being awarded with this position. So, all of this is just an attempt to completely throw you off track and to prevent you from transforming and changing into who you were meant to change into. But as long as you understand that, you understand the game, so to say, you will be okay. You'll be just fine. And your divine inheritance is going to come to you regardless. You've got people working on your team behind the scenes to assist with this. And your only job is just to continue loving yourself and continue putting your energy, your thoughts, your time, your focus into loving yourself and what you want to create and how you want to live your life, and how you can fulfill your purpose and find meaning in your life, while also giving back to the rest of the world, right? That's pretty much everybody's only purpose. We all have unique ways of expressing that, but that is what you are to focus on regardless of how this shows up and what comes in. you know, Focus on that. Don't allow it to dissuade you from your path. Don't allow it to get you emotionally dysregulated. Okay, so let's see here. All right, I'm being called to this deck here. All right, Spirit, what else would you like to share with the collective here? Any further messages before we close off this reading? Whoa, okay, that was a lot of cards, so we'll take this one here. Uh, Thank you, Spirit. So we've got the goodness within. So really, it ties into what I was just saying about, the middle path, and the path that's right for you is looking inwards and onwards, right? Finding the goddess within you, or, oh, I said goodness. Oh, that's interesting. And that's the goddess within. Ah, okay. Well, I find that interesting. So, the goodness, we're going to touch base on that first and then the goddess or God. So The reason why I read that wrong, obviously, was because there was a message here, and it's about alignment, right? It is about aligning with the highest version of yourself, which is what the ascension journey is all about, is not seeing or seeing the situation for what it is and not seeing it um, for what illusions are cast, right? So finding the goodness within each situation, not only within yourself, but within each situation is going to be important because this is what the whole discernment process is about, and your intuition and what your body is telling you and your empathic abilities are telling you is that you can find the good in every situation, even the situation that's coming up, even these restraints that this family or person or people have been trying to impose on you, you can find the goodness and the good aspects of everything that has happened to you. And it is that state of gratitude that helps to amplify your new position in your life that is coming in, and as well as amplify the abundance that's coming into your life. Now, also finding the God or the goddess within. I mean, again, you are being granted this position. You've already been assigned a position. And for many of you, you've been in search for a long time. And so, what we were talking about before about standing in your authority, standing in your autonomy and your sovereignty as a human being, well, not allowing people to cross your boundaries, but not hurting other people at the same time, self-loving to you, but being self-loving and compassionate for where these people are coming from, where they're at, regardless of whatever they're doing that may have caused you setbacks or harm in any way, shape, or form. Stepping into your own personal power is how or what defines you as your own god or goddess. This is the search that we are all on, how to align with the highest version of ourselves, right? On this journey. And this really speaks to me about this alignment process kind of coming to, I wouldn't say coming to an end, but you're at this pivotal moment in your life where you are becoming completely aligned and you have this one, I guess, test, if you want to call it that, or opportunity to really decide for yourself, is this what I want? Do I want to be able to create the life that I truly desire, or do I want to shift back into old patterns, beliefs, and repeat the cycle? So you're being asked to really step into your highest potential, which is understanding that you are the creator of your own life, that you're creating your life regardless of if you're putting intention behind it or not. So with negativity and words that are expressed out into the universe, the thoughts that you have, all of this is already creating your reality. So why not align with the highest potential, your highest version of self, and decide that, whatever is happening in my 3D reality, I don't accept. I reject that. And this is what I am focusing on. This is what I believe to be true. What I think happens and what I want, I get. And so you're really being asked to align with this concept of you're the creator. You are the god or goddess of your own life. And so you might as well at this point now take the reins and demonstrate that to yourself that you are creating regardless. So you might as well create what you want, right? And this is going to allow you to soar to these new heights and to take on this position that you have been given. And it looks to me like this involves whatever position you have been given by the divine, it involves a long term opportunity, a business opportunity, or um, this speaks to maybe working for somebody else, but I have a very strong inclination that for most of you, this is something that you're going to be utilizing your own gifts and abilities because this God Goddess card came out. I do get the strong feeling that many of you are going to be heading in a direction that is just for you, that is created for you, selected and imbued upon you, just for you and your unique talents, gifts, and abilities. And so you're being shown here that this is aligned for you, that it's ready for you, that, this does involve your ability to financially stabilize yourself and to receive your inheritance, your divine inheritance, not just possibly a inheritance or money or whatever it is that they're trying to steal in this family system, but um, all around in a holistic view, right? So every aspect of your life to come into balance and to provide for you everything that you need, as well as everything that you possibly may desire. So yeah, that's really beautiful. That's awesome. Thank you, Spirit. All right, we'll get one more card from here. What else would you like to tell the collective today, please, Spirit? Whoa, I'm really getting too many cards out of this deck. Just one, please, Spirit. One card at a time. Well, I'm actually hearing to close it off with a few spirit messages, so we'll do that. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, what messages would you like to imbue upon the collective spirit? Okay, yeah, so accept where you are at this moment in time. Only then can you begin to move forward. Be clear about your intentions. This makes it easier for us and the universe to help you. Doors will open unexpectedly. Be ready. Yeah, so a big part of this is to accept and be happy and content with what it is that you currently have. Part of that is being grateful for the experience that you've had that has shaped you into who you are right now. And so part of that is also being grateful for the patterns that exist within your lineage. Because without that, and without your experiences, you would never have been able to break through and to be formed and shaped into who you are currently. And so part of being um, part of being in the moment and accepting what it is that we've been through is also showing gratitude for those who have come before us. I personally do some stuff every morning to not only thank my ancestors, but to honor them, right? I leave gifts and I do things that honor them every day. And I express my gratitude for those who have come before me and who have walked the path before me, and for those who have tried to um, get to the point where I'm at, but have not been able to succeed. For those who have, continued on the maybe what we refer to as toxic patterns that allowed, say, my own family to, emanate these same patterns or different patterns that are similar to create me as an individual. Because without all of the familial lines and patterns, you wouldn't have gone through all of the things that you went through. And those were necessary in order to learn the lessons that you've learned. So what we've experienced up until this point wasn't just created because of situations that we experienced in our own immediate family, but because of what our parents experienced and their parents experienced and their families experienced, right? So all of this came down to this very one moment when you were born all of a sudden into this family where whatever whatever shaped them was about to shape you. And this allowed for many more experiences and situations to occur to you, which would bring you to your breaking point at at some point it was your breaking point, but now your job is to look back and go, oh wow, without that, I wouldn't be here. Without them, I wouldn't be alive. Without those experiences shaping my experience, I wouldn't have the opportunity to crack my heart open and learn how to love myself, or learn that I'm actually worthy of receiving, and learn that I am worthy of love. And, you wouldn't have these experiences. So, acceptance of where you're at, what you have, and what has come before you to make this situation show up for you today. That is the greatest gratitude that you can demonstrate, not only to yourself, but to the universe when you really tap into that gratitude on such a deep, profound level that this intention alone to be in a state of acceptance, surrender, and love and gratitude for what has come before, even generationally, to what you have now. This is the state that we're all being asked to be in. And, being in that state does allow for beautiful opportunities to come in once you've done all this healing work, right? So that's really awesome. Okay, Spirit, do you have any more messages for the collective? This way, try to come out. Yeah. So this is just reiterating the same thing that I was saying earlier. Be clear about where you are putting your focus right now. Focus on your desired outcome. You have everything within you to create the life of your dreams. Stop doubting yourself for once. This is your time. We've got you. So again, this comes down to faith and trust that whatever's being orchestrated behind the scenes, you shouldn't be focusing on what's going on behind the scenes. You shouldn't be focusing on whatever this person comes forward with or whatever this communication is. You should not be putting your time, energy, your emotions, or your focus into these things, and instead really, really set a boundary with yourself as well and say, you know what? I'm not giving away my power to this situation, to this person, to whatever's going on here, or to um, whatever limitations you may be experiencing in the 3D. I'm not giving my power away to this any longer. I am going to trust myself. I am going to trust the divine. I am going to have unwavering faith that I'm being led in the right direction and that I can choose for myself what is beneficial and what is not. And putting my time and energy into, or thoughts even, into negative things, or the fear of the unknown, or the what ifs, is not serving me, and it is not self-loving, because that's another thing, is sometimes we need to set these boundaries with ourselves and say, like, is this self-loving if I am sabotaging my success? Absolutely not. So you might be at a point now where you're like, well, I've got nothing else to lose. And I've got the focus trained. I've got my focus trained. I've got, my faith. I've got all these things. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to take that leap of faith, and I'm going to truly believe and trust that it's all going to work out for me. And this is the desired outcome that I want. And I am taking steps forward to reach that, even if I don't know all the stuff in between or what's going to happen. I'm going to remain sovereign in my own life. I'm going to remain the goddess or the god within my own life. And I'm going to choose to create the life that I want. And I'm going to be very clear about where I am putting my attention. I'm not going to give my power away to anything or anyone external to me, right? I get to decide. So beautiful. Okay. Down, down. I'm going to get a. It feels like, we need a few badass affirmations for this reading. Because you guys are spiritual baddies. Oh, yeah. My collective is. Okay. Spirit. I have goosebumps all over. Confirmation. You're a bunch of spiritual baddies. Spiritual badasses. I love it. All right, Spirit. Which affirmations does the collective or could the collective utilize the most? Please and thank you. Which affirmations are best supporting the collective? This one. Love that one. All right. Got a couple more, please, Spirit. Which affirmations are going to support this next part of their journey? The collective, please, Spirit. It's going to come out. You get one more, please, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, so the first one that we have is I am a fucking masterpiece. If you don't like swearing, sorry. This may not be the channel for you because I am liberating myself and allowing myself to just say what is on the cards. I used to have an issue with that when I was still struggling with parts of me that needed to refrain. So if you have difficulty listening to swearing or you do not wish to repeat these words, that is okay. You can say effing masterpiece or I am a freaking masterpiece. Change it as you wish, okay? So this one is I am a fucking masterpiece. Nice. And feel free to write these down if you like, so you can say them. Happiness is a choice, and today I choose to be over the fucking top happy. I choose to be over the fucking top happy. Let's not quite zooming into that. Okay. And then the last one is you did not wake up today to be fucking average. And I'm just going to elaborate on that. You did not take on this journey to be fucking average. Okay? You didn't. You are not average. The average person could not have done everything that you did behind the scenes, everything that nobody else saw you doing, all of the tears that you shed, all of the reparenting that you did, all of the reprogramming of your brain that you've done, all of the reconditioning of your thoughts and your beliefs and the letting go and the ego deaths, all of the work that you did behind the scenes that nobody is going to give you your flowers for. You didn't do all that because you're average. And the universe is has recognized all the work that you put in and is giving you your flowers now. So, again, this says you did not wake up today to be fucking average. Say it, Spirit. Okay. I'm going to get a crystal for the day. Spirit, what crystal could benefit the collective with this next leg of their journey here? Which crystal will benefit the collective most this leg of their journey? Thank you. Ah, chrysanthemum stone. So I will allow you guys to look that up yourself. Chrysanthemum stone. And the key word here is inspiration. So, beautiful cards. And because it's not zooming, I will spell that out for you. CHRYSANTHEMUM, and then stone. So, inspiration. So I am assuming that for some of you, you're needing a little more inspiration, or maybe because you've never experienced what's about to come in for you. You might be having some difficulty in imagining all of the beautiful, awesome, wonderful things that are about to come in for you. And so you may need a little more inspiration, or you may need some guidance in that sector. So carrying the stone or having the stone or even meditating on this stone in particular, you may want to pull up a picture on your computer and look at all the properties that are involved in the stone. But you may want to meditate on it, or even just contemplation, right? And see how that inspires you to take action in the right way that is aligned for you, right? In your highest alignment. Okay, I'm going to get a self-care activity for the collective as well. And then we will close it off with, I think, a couple money affirmations today. Heck yeah. Since your abundance is ready to come through, why not? Spirit, what self-care activity will best benefit the collective today or whenever they're viewing this? What self-care activity will benefit the collective most? We've got two. Ah, nature. That makes sense because a reading that I did recently was talking about taking a taking an adventure. That's what it was. So we've got nature, spending time in nature, getting grounded, that's really important. Maybe journaling, maybe going camping, maybe going for a walk around a lake, maybe just observing animals, just being in the present moment, taking time out to really appreciate what nature has to offer you. And for others of you, or maybe both of you, if you resonate with both, doing a puzzle, doing something that is calm, quieting, that still involves a skill level, but isn't too overstimulating, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Isn't too overstimulating. For some of you, you're feeling really overstimulated by life circumstances, or all of the things that are needing to be balanced. And this is just taking a little time for you to unwind, to get out of your head. That's what I'm hearing. So, for those of you who resonate with being in your head a lot, thinking a lot, over analyzing, maybe even ruminating, it's really important to get out of this energy at this time. So, even with this reading, talking about some of the heavier aspects of what's going on behind the scenes, Spirit does not want you in your head at all, because they've got you. They don't want you to worry about the situation. They want you to put your energy, your focus, and your time um, into the right direction for you. And so that means that if you're struggling with this overthinking aspect or being in your head too much, it's time to get grounded. It's time to release yourself from that programming. It's still going to be there after you do a puzzle, or after, you know, it's a really big puzzle, after you work on this puzzle for a few hours, but at least give your mind and your body a break. Get yourself into something that is, you know, involve yourself into something that is going to allow your mind to rest easy, you know, because there's a lot of worry that's coming through here. There's a lot of worry about the unknown and what's going to happen and how this is going to show up and whether or not you're going to receive your divine inheritance. And for some of you, I'm hearing whether or not you're going to be able to make it through the next month um, financially or feed your family or yourself or you know, there seems to be a lot of worry. So give yourself time to unplug from that mind. And I'm also hearing that doing some breath work exercises or even just breathing exercises, getting into your body is going to be really, really important for a lot of you to get out of this mental construct that you're stuck in because staying in that mental construct is going to keep you stuck in a reality that you don't want to continue. So, this is one of the ways that you're being asked to step out of that to give your mind a break, allow yourself to redirect yourself and your energy and your focus into something that is self serving as opposed to creating a reality that you're not going to enjoy, right? All right. Now, let's just close this session off with a few money affirmations. All right, Spirit, let's give it to them. What are the best affirmations for abundance, money, wealth, divine inheritance that the collective could utilize most at this time? Thank you. Thank you. Get one more, please, Spirit. Two more. Okay. Pardon me. Mm. Yeah, that's why I was picking up on poverty and things like that and financial constraints. So, money is energy. Money flows to me. If you need to pause the video to write these down, feel free. Money is energy. Money flows to me. So, this one is going to be pertinent for some of you who are maybe still dealing with lack or beliefs around lack, maybe a lack of trust that this is all going to work out and that you're going to be taken care of. I release any childhood beliefs of poverty with love and forgiveness. I release any childhood beliefs of poverty with love and forgiveness. Spirit also wants me to give this message that for somebody here or some people here, this person maybe playing on financial scarcity wounds in childhood. So old beliefs around financial scarcity around or from childhood that potentially were created by this person in their own right. So be aware again that some of your limiting beliefs may be coming from whomever it is that is approaching. And for others of you, it's just something to work on or be to align more carefully and to stop thinking or worrying about, which is something we touched base on, about the 3D reality and what the 3D reality is looking like, right? So that might look like all of a sudden you're getting bill after bill after bill after bill, like surprise bills for stating that you owe money. Or you might have a bunch of bills show up out of nowhere unexpectedly, and then something happens with your house, or an appliance breaks down, or your vehicle, or something to that degree. And you just have all of these expenses coming at you. So your job here is to reject the fact that you're reject what the 3D reality is telling you, that the 3D reality or people want you to believe about reality, let's put it that way, and to instead maybe insert this affirmation or something of, let's see here, every day my wealth increases, I have more than enough, you know, reinsert a different affirmation for you to say every time that you experience lack, scarcity, or doubt, because all of these things showing up in your 3D reality are actually showing up to tell you that something is about to happen that's big financially. So you're about to increase your finances, is what that means. And so then if you give in to the doubt, and if you don't believe and you take that path, then it's just going to be a bunch of mounting bills that you have to pay, right? However, if you believe and you trust and you have faith and you see this as a sign that you're about to step into more prosperity, more abundance, more wealth, um, unlimited potential, then that is what you're going to receive. All these things in your 3D world are signs of your elevation. So you're going to have, with new levels, you have new devils showing up, right? And with money, it's kind of the same thing. If you are about to elevate or release your your divine inheritance, then all of these things are showing up in your life to as sign points to show you, and they're meant to test your faith. So remember that they are showing up to test your faith. And if you remain steadfast in your faith, you'll have no worries about all those bills. It's going to show up for you, but you have to ensure that you don't have any childhood beliefs about poverty, scarcity, or lack still in the way. And every time one does come up, you have to change that. You fear cancel and rebuke that, whatever it is you just thought or you said, and you instill a new positive belief about abundance. Okay. I am surrounded by positive people. I am surrounded by positive people. Ah, I create my financial reality. I create beautiful abundance. And weren't we just talking about that? So you're in charge of that, right? But you have to be in charge of your focus. And that means that if you're allowing your thoughts to become negative or to take you down a notch, then that's what you're going to create. If you decide, nope, nope, I reject that, I deny that, I don't believe that, that is not my reality. I fully believe that I am abundant and I'm about to hit mega prosperity and abundance and financial freedom. That's what I think happens. And what I want, I get. Okay? So remember that you're the one in control, not just financially, but in all areas of your life. And then I deserve to be financially independent. Absolutely. I deserve to be financially independent. And I'm going to add a little to that spirit saying, and free. I deserve to be financially independent and free. So you've got that. Okay, beautiful collective. Thank you so much for joining me for today's reading. I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. I have so much love for all of you. If you want me to channel messages that are more directed towards you, then you can feel free to leave a comment. That does help me to align my energy and channel directly for more specific messages for each collective member. It's not a ploy to get messages or subscribers or anything of that sort. So if you don't feel comfortable doing that, don't do it. It's all good. But if you do want messages that are more pertaining to you specifically, that does help me to align with that energy, your energy. If you did resonate with this and you enjoyed the video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe to our beautiful community of light. And I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye for now.